Generation X. In general terms, those born between 1965 and 1980. Latchkey kids. Independent. Existentialism. Modern philosophy focusing on personal experience, human ability, and responsibility in an otherwise meaningless universe. We're the cause. This is the effect. We're the Gen Existentialists. Welcome back, friends. This is the Gen Existentialists podcast. My name is Scott.
And I'm Bunny.
And we're here to chat with you for the next 20 minutes or so about all manner of weird things having to do with Gen Existentialism, which is what we purvey.
So we're soaking in it.
So what we do is we pick random topics using Mega Wheel the Magnificent. Over 500 topics on this wheel. And yet last episode, we didn't actually even spin the wheel. We just started yapping.
I know. I think we need to spin like 3 or 4 times this time just to make it up to the audience because we really kind of
left them hanging last time.
We went off script. So I do want to thank people out there for sending in some anonymous questions. Your questions will be added to the wheel soon. So keep them coming.
And we have been spinning the wheel and what? Okay. Are you ready?
Oh, yeah, I'm always ready.
What are some snacks that no longer exist that you wish would come back?
Tato skins.
Do you remember? Skins still exist.
What?
The little break room where I work, we haven't had them lately. But within the last year, we had tato skins.
They were probably left over from the 90s somewhere.
No. Now, the thing is, what you'll find is not the old, like, yellow packaged tato skins. You'll find TGI Fridays tato skins, but they're the same damn thing.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. It's like branded TGI Fridays.
TGI Fridays.
Yeah.
Well, I learned something today, kids. That was one of the snacks I really wish would come back.
Yeah, so since that one's not gone away, you need to come up with something else.
Oh, man. What's another snack that I really wish would come back? That was my big one that just came to mind. I'm sorry. What about you?
I'm trying to think about something that's actually gone away.
I got another one.
And I don't know. I think probably no. The thing I was going to think of is it's more that they haven't gone away, but they're just not as available anymore. And I know this came up a few months ago because we talked about this, but the animal crackers with the icing and the little candy dots on them.
Yeah, those are amazing.
Used to be you could find them everywhere. And finding them now, and of course, I have to moderate whenever I can find them because, being diabetic and all that. But I will say this for anybody out there. Oreo cookies, you can get them personalized. And you might say, how do they do that? Well, they dip the Oreo in icing, and then they put those candy balls on them, and you can get a picture printed or something said on there. And they taste just like those animal crackers.
Oh, okay.
It's the same kind of icing, same kind of stuff. They're absolutely magnificent.
Okay.
I got some for Tracy for our anniversary. One of the pictures from our wedding.
Oh,
plastered
okay. It wasn't an illicit picture.
No. Although maybe I'll do that next time.
That's how you get fired from work, kids. Take a picture of something unmentionable and make some cookies out of it, and
just leave them in the break room.
Yeah, exactly.
So I could see you had some kind of epiphany while I was talking about that.
Jello pudding pops.
Did you like them?
I loved Jello pudding pops, and we never had them at home, but there was always a friend somewhere that had Jello pudding pops. So in the summer, you'd go over and they'd be like, "Oh, honey, do you want a Jello pudding pop?" I'd be like, "Pudding pop me, baby." So yeah, I really like those a lot, and I have no idea why they went away.
I remember them melting so fast.
Yeah.
Like literally you couldn't eat them fast enough that they wouldn't just run down all over your hands, and that just made me angry. Not to get into the emotional things anymore, but me at 8 years old with a Jello pudding pop, angry that it's melting onto my hand, and then just throwing it in the garbage because I was done.
This is no longer aesthetically pleasing.
This has made me sticky.
Yeah.
I do not like it anymore.
Okay. Well, there you go.
So
I'm going to go look for potato skins now.
Yeah. I'm sure that you could Amazon the thing and get a box of like 144 count of the little Fridays bags.
As long as I know what to ask for my birthday.
Awesome. So we're going to spin the wheel again. Okay. It was a quick spin because I actually spun before I said that.
Limp wrist spin.
What is the strangest joke someone has asked you? So, I mean, I think what that means is what's the strangest joke someone has told you? Or, what's the strangest joke that you know?
Oh, gosh. My father used to tell this joke, and it made no sense at all. It still doesn't to this day, and I am an aficionado of dad jokes, being a former horror host. It's sort of in my blood. I've got to tell bad jokes. But my dad had this weird joke about, I went into the bar, and there was a man lying on the floor on his side with his ear against the floor. And I said, "Are you okay, buddy?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm just fine." And he's like, "What are you doing down there?" And he said, "I'm listening." He said, "What are you listening to?" He's like, "Oh, it's been like that all day," was the line. It made no sense. It was a terrible delivery of this joke that made no sense from back in the day. But it's like, "Oh, what do you listen to?" "Nothing. It's been like that all day." And I'm like, I don't even know what do you mean? Passed out? Is that a joke? Is alcohol poisoning a joke to you? As a former alcoholic, no, I'm not.
I am offended.
Yeah, exactly. Look at me. I'm a kid from the 2000s. I'm offended by alcoholism jokes. No, it was just a really confusing joke to me as a child. Now, that's one of the few jokes that he told me that were clean enough to say on the line, because my dad was a fan of the naughty joke.
Well, who isn't?
It's true.
But no, I don't get that joke at all.
I don't get it either.
Mine would be, and mine is a horrible religious joke, but you hear about Jesus going to the hotel?
Oh, yeah? What's up?
Yeah, he put 3 railroad spikes down on the counter and said, "Hey, can you put me up for the night?" Ba-dum. And now 1 million people have tuned away from the show because Scott is a heretic.
That's right.
So that was a really kind of lame topic.
That was. Sorry, kids, whoever put that one in.
Yeah, so we're going to spin the wheel again. Spinning Mega Wheel of Magnificent, 500 topics that lead to the random nature of this show. Unless we just decide to talk about something and rail on it for 20 minutes. Okay, this is a good one. What are you most grateful for about your family? Or what are you most grateful about your family? The phrasing on some of the questions is really odd.
Do you even English?
So you're grateful for your family. Why is basically what we're doing.
Yeah, I'm very grateful for my family. I'll say it again. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. My family never had to teach me how to love other people because they just did it, but through example.
Yeah.
Like my mother and father were always super loving to each other. They never hid affection. Always hugging and kissing, telling each other they loved each other, having a good time, laughing. And that, if you want to know how to teach a child something, in my opinion, it's show them. Yeah. And to be consistent about it and be genuine about it.
Yep.
And I'm super grateful that I grew up in a family where I had that around me all the time.
Yeah.
I felt very loved and very safe in that environment. And it wasn't until, it's funny, I was such a different person until I ran into certain people in the world who really tarnished that from me. You know, I was a much more romantic, happy-go-lucky, care and kind person until the real world sort of came up and gave me a love tap on the butt. But that is what I am the most grateful for, is that I had that
you could fall back on.
Harmonious bubble that I lived in. And it was still going strong up until the end with them.
Yeah.
You know, my father had dementia at the end, and it was a really rough thing to see somebody who was so big and so strong just sort of gradually chip away, I guess, like a mountain falling apart. But even at the end, he died holding my mom's hand.
Yeah.
You know, so it's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice to be in a place like that.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm grateful for.
I think the thing I'm most grateful for with my family is obviously love, same kind of thing you mentioned, but support. You know, when I went to my mom and dad and asked for a bass, their only consideration was, promise us you'll take lessons for a certain amount of time and just stick with it for a little bit and give it a good try. Yeah, I can do that. And here I am 50, I'm still playing, writing songs, playing in a band, doing different stuff. But it was that support structure. When I started writing, you know, poetry and different things, they were always supportive. You know, there was never any negativity. There was never any, oh, you'll never make money with that. No, if I was going to band practice, like, have fun, be careful. There was never any restriction from that. When I wanted to grow my hair, it was just like, well, just kind of try and keep it looking nice. You know, there was never a, if you don't cut your hair, get out of my house. It was, you know, and there were questions like, okay, why do you want to grow your hair? Well, I'm playing rock and everybody in rock and roll has long hair. It was a logical, reasoned discussion. It wasn't even that they were going to say no. They just wanted to know what the reasoning was. And that was it. And they were cool with it. So I couldn't have asked for more supportive parents and family. I mean, my aunts came to some of the shows that I did with Phil and Crystal back in the 90s and stuff like that. So every member of my family has supported everything that I've done. And I would extend that out to like the family you create, like you, Tim, our extended friends and everything. I think we've all always supported each other's artistic endeavors, our personal endeavors, stuff that we get into. I don't think any of us has ever looked at another one and gone, man, you shouldn't do that. Yeah. We've asked questions like, why are you, explain it to me.
What the hell are you doing?
But there's always been that natural mutual support. And I know that not everybody gets that. Yeah. You know, a lot of people have to fight to have the opportunity to do things. And that kind of, it makes me sad. It creates a different aesthetic for the stuff you're doing if you're fighting that uphill battle too. Sure. But yeah, support would be my big thing. So we're going to give Mega Wheel of Magnificent a third spin for this episode. We really are making up for the last one.
An embarrassment of spinning.
And we're spinning and spinning, and I guarantee you this is either going to be like a 2-second thing or it's going to take us through the end of the show. What are your thoughts on the nature of consciousness? Dun dun.
My thoughts on the nature of consciousness.
Are we truly conscious right now, or are we dreaming?
I think we're truly conscious right now, and I don't think it's doing us a lot of favors.
How so? How is being conscious not?
Aren't you happier when you're asleep? No, I think there's a lot of people. When I was young, I used to believe in vast conspiracies and, cabals of people directing the rest of humanity off a cliff kind of a thing. And
it's happening.
Well, we're kind of playing ourselves in a lot of ways. I think the older I get, the more I realize, wow, there aren't many people at all that know what the hell's going on with themselves, let alone with the world. And it's all just a bunch of crazy flailing, and pretending like you know what you're doing. As long as you look good while you're flailing, you seem to be able to get away with it. Consciousness, there was this whole thing somebody posted recently about, does everyone, when they pass, go back to the stream of consciousness because that's all we are, is we are consciousness experiencing human life, or are we actually like individual souls or whatever? It's this whole weird concept of like everybody's the same person and you're all just living. I don't subscribe to that. I'm sorry if I'm making it sound, crappy by doing that voice with it. It was probably intentional.
We've lost 24 listeners.
Yeah, well,
dial it back.
Now we're finished. That's it. 0 listeners, folks. No, that's my feelings on consciousness. I think we are conscious. I think I'd like to think that everybody continues on afterwards in some respect or another. The whole energy cannot be created nor destroyed kind of a deal.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's consciousness is really anything to get super excited about because I don't think nobody really knows how to harness it very well.
Well, I think the nature of consciousness can vary from person to person. And the reason I say that is I think it goes along with how you tend to view life in the world. You can sleepwalk through life. It's not difficult. It may actually be easier than anything else. You can close your eyes and just bull straight ahead, do what's supposed to be done, do what's in your animal nature, and get to the end, and you are conscious. You were there, you were awake, you lived your life, but you didn't really live. You didn't really experience. You didn't understand yourself and your place in things. And I think that's something that gets lost when you talk about consciousness, is we tend to immediately look in the mirror and focus on ourselves. Whereas I think the greater part of consciousness is being conscious of the world around you and interacting and seeing and loving and knowing and touching and being part of everything. Because it's very easy to disconnect the Legos and just be a separate block sitting over in the corner that's forgotten about. Or you can be a Lego that's part of some bigger structure, some grander thing.
Nobody puts Bunny Lego in the corner. It had to be
awesome. Said. That was wonderful. But it's very much how I kind of view consciousness is if you limit yourself to just your own individual consciousness, you're missing so much because it's the interaction. And I don't agree that we're part of this great cosmic sea, but I think you mentioned energy. There are electrical impulses. There is something to us beyond the quote unquote physical. And there is something else that does go on, but beyond that, I don't know. So it's not even really worth worrying about. Will my consciousness retain its form in the next stage, whatever that is? Probably not. I mean, there's not going to be any structure there for it to retain its form within. So
are you going to go back to the sea of consciousness?
I'm just going to be energy. You ready for it? You know what I'm going to say. I'm going to return to the Force.
There you go.
For anyone
Disney will send a cease and desist letter.
Gen existentialists, quit talking about the Force. The Force is ours. And so, I mean, our consciousness, consciousness is what you make it. That's my end thing there.
All right.
So we're going to give Mega Wheel of Magnificent one more spin. This is going to be a quick take.
Exciting.
And we're spinning and spinning and spinning. I can just feel that this is going to be done.
I say that every morning when I wake up.
You open your eyes like, I just know this is going to be dumb.
Exactly.
And it is, because the answer to this question for both of us is us. Who's the black sheep of your family?
Wow. Yeah, I'm an only child, so I don't have anybody to blame it on, but we did have a black dog once, so that helps.
Who's the black sheep of my family? That would be me. In so many ways. I also only child, but still, who doesn't quite fit the standard scheme of the family? Would be me.
No, but I mean, think about it. We're both fairly good kids. I was an excellent kid. Yeah, we were good kids, good students, fairly successful adults. Yeah. I think we turned out pretty darn good for black sheep.
Yeah. And that's the thing. There's nothing wrong with being a black sheep. You know, it means you've got cooler wool than the rest of the sheep.
No reason to bring race into this.
Oh, man. For some reason, I immediately went back to the Bill Miller song, Raven in the Snow. You know, I'll stand out because I'm a raven in the snow. You have no idea what that song is.
I don't.
Yeah.
Are you outstanding in your field? Sorry.
I tend to go out and stand in fields alone. They call me Scarecrow. Okay, well, that about does it. If people want to get in touch with us and send us show comments and questions and stuff.
Yeah, you want to drop us a line at morningpizzaradio@proton.me. That's proton.me. Or you can drop us a line at this show on Mixcloud. Just leave us a comment.
And you can also go to our Facebook page for the Morning Pizza Radio Collective and drop things in there.
Yeah.
Insert things into our inboxes, as it were.
Wow.
And if you go to
at least you got, you know.
If you go to the Facebook page, you can also actually see a photograph of the studio in which we are currently recording this show, and we typically do the show. So all kinds of fun stuff there online. If you go out and get your internets on, kids, you can see all kinds of neat stuff. That'll do it for this week. This has been the Gen Existentialist. My name's Scott.
And I'm Bunny.
And we'll catch you next time. Have a good one.
Turn up the microphone so I can ill and break on the rolling tape. Another album to make, great. Islam turned the bass, kick up a bit. Hype the snare, now I got a place to sit and ride the track like a black Mac in his lack. Hit the corner slow where the girls are at and kick game the way it should be done. How you gonna drop science? You're dumb, stupid, ignorant. Don't even talk to me. In school you drop math, science, and history. And then you get on the mic and try to act smart. But let me tell you one thing, you got heart to perpetrate your bait. So just wait till the press shove a mic in your face. Or you meet Boogie Down or Chuck D, Stetsasonic or the Big Daddy. And they ask you about the game you claim you got. Drop science now, why not? You start to sweat and fret, it gets hot. How'd you get into this spot? You played yourself. Yo, you played yourself. Ain't nobody else's fault, you played yourself.